Everyone, we'd like to welcome you to the Springfield Township Board of Trustees meeting. Today is March the 10th, 2015, and it's approximately 5:28 p.m. Roll call, Mr. Burney.
Yes, Mr. Burney?
Present.
Mr. Honolaw?
Present.
Ms. McFarland?
Present.
All trustees are present.
Next, we're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like Mr. Mullins, if you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Your prompt starting of it.
We just wanted to give it due
I
reference.
think he was in shock.
It was reverent.
Okay, next approval of minutes. We had a regular meeting on February the 10th, 2015. Need a motion?
So moved. Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. And now, Mr. Burning, our fiscal officer, can you give us a financial report, please?
Give me 1 second.
Okay,
I gotta write all this stuff down.
you're doing well.
Okay, for the month ending 2/28/2015, the township expenditures were approximately 1.6 million, and receipts were 5.65 million. The ending cash balance of almost a little over 19 million includes the obligations to expenditures, payroll, regular operating costs, ongoing capital improvement projects, and investment. What I do is request a motion to approve the receipts, warrants, expenditures, updated, and current revenue and reports for the period ending 2/28. Do I have that?
So moved. Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I just want everyone in the township to know that our records are available for viewing at the administrative offices weekdays during regular business hours. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda, departmental action and discussion items. Mr. Hennenkamp, our administrator.
Thank you, Ms. McFarland. I have two action items tonight. The first one is sort of a monumental occasion for us. We have been working on this, I think back as far as about 2007, 2006, 2007. And this involves roughly 50 acres, about 50.7 acres of property that the township owns. It's the former Warder Nursery property. And what I'm seeking for tonight, and I know the board has copies, is authorization to enter into a preferred developer agreement with the St. Francis Group, LLC, and of course, Township. This agreement that we've been spending quite a bit of time on and worked on really for the last 3-4 months, specifically on this agreement, sort of outlines how we believe we can move forward on this project. As we said, this was property that we acquired, I think, as far back in 1999 or right around 2000. We acquired this property from the city of Cincinnati. At that time, as I said, was actually a former working nursery. We looked at this property originally for some recreational use, and probably about 2004, 2005, it became pretty obvious, I think, even from the community, from the school district, that the development of this land was something that would probably be in the longer-term best interest of the township to meet our housing needs. And we've been working to try to make that happen for some time. Of course, the housing market, we were very close in 2008, and then the housing market crash and the economy crash that occurred. And we're happy to report that we think we have something, a very, very workable agreement. This is a property that we're hoping will be eventually developed for mixed residential and commercial use, but more importantly, I think it's property that we all feel can serve as a catalyst for sort of a total transformation of the entire township, obviously, and certainly down into the Finneytown portion and seeing redevelopment occurring along Witten and Galbraith. this property that sits sort of in the center of that. The St. Francis Group obviously desires to investigate the development of this parcel to determine really the viability. And what this agreement does is sort of sets them up as a master developer. There could be other developers that are eventually brought in, but what we're doing here tonight is more of a framework and sort of sets up the possibility over the next 15 months to do a very intense investigation of what the highest and best use of this property could be, and potential development that we think, like I said, would be in the best interest long-term for the township. The agreement is very unique in the fact that the township is not engaging this firm. There is no financial commitment on behalf of the township. It simply sets up a framework for certain phases that will take place in the next 15 months for them to investigate, come back on a regular meeting with myself and through the CIC. And of course, this board steps along the way as to what we think the master plan will look like. Through some of the work that we've done up to this point, we've done some conceptual master plans, we've done some basic site design standards and things like that to get a general idea. I think this takes us to that next level and really gets into, this is the real thing. This isn't just something that's going to sit on the shelf. Or we'll find out that maybe what we'd like to see developed there's not the right market for. So, I'm excited about it. I think it's, as I said, it's something we've worked really, really hard on. I think, the board has certainly seen this agreement and some of the discussions that we've had about this, and happy to answer any questions that the board might have on it.
Well, I would say I had a chance to read this agreement carefully, and Laura, I want to thank you for the revisions and suggestions that you made in going back and forth with the St. Francis Group. This is Mike, as you said, it's a framework. There are going to, and in certain ways, this is an agreement to make an agreement. As we move down the road and they complete their market analysis, we're going to be coming back to them, or they're going to be coming to us, and we're going to be talking about the phases and what the options may be. What will be the type of development that would be constructed here. What would the what are they willing to pay the township? In what ways do we participate? So there's some this is sort of setting the foundation, but there's a lot more that's going to come on top of this, and some of those agreements will be equally, if not more important, once we go through this whole process. So I think it's something that, thank God, we were close to starting this about 2007. Good thing we didn't. But I think the timing now is better, and I think it's going to provide the kind of catalyst and change that people are going to say, wow, that's some, there's some neat things going on in the township, and it'll be good for our future and good for redevelopment of other areas.
I just think, Laura, you did a fantastic job in, answering and clarifying some of the statements that was in here. And, for some time, our community residents have been asking, if we could do something or could find some land, which we already knew we had a water nursery, but some way that when they wanted to downsize, or even if they're starting new families, that they would have a place to live because they wanted to stay in the township. So this is a great, great opportunity for those individuals who are empty nesters and they just want to go into a facility and stay somewhere in the township where they can still walk to the nearest store and also have their own little, gateway, a gated, it won't be a gated community, but it will be something like that, a fun place where they can socialize and have a great time. It's something that we've been looking at, as you said, for quite some time, and the one thing that I'm glad about is to see that there will be constant contact and updates with the staff and with us as well regarding the process and the progress and where we go from here.
And we have complete control. We're not giving up control to a developer selling the land, and God knows what happens. We can kind of control. If we're not happy with what they want to do, then we can part company, and that's why the language of the agreement is really important.
That's a good point, Mark.
I mean, I think that's, not that we're not committed in this, but
We are.
in many ways, this establishes the framework, and if at any point, in any step, we get off the rails where the board doesn't feel comfortable, or we don't think what's being proposed is the best use, meets what we think meets the community's objectives, you know, you're exactly right. There's plenty of opportunities by either party to say, no, this isn't working out, but it allows us to quit talking about it and start getting to that next level.
And get more information about what will or will not work there.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it appears to me, as we look around, not only in the county, but at the state level and in other communities, that the economy seems to be improving. And so I think this is an optimal time for us to look at this opportunity and see what we can do to continue to bring an asset into the township and have an asset where people will want to come and bring their families, or just be in a place where they can just live happily ever after. I guess that's what I would say.
So just, again, looking for a motion from the board authorizing me to enter into this agreement between the township and the St. Francis Group LLC.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I just mentioned, I guess, that St. Francis Group, obviously the board's aware of this, but of course, St. Francis Group is a Ohio company and located here in Cincinnati, so it is a locally owned community. The next item I have is to seek the board's authorization to allow our fire chief, Rob Leininger, to enter into a fire EMS mutual aid agreement. This is actually a revision to the mutual aid agreement that has existed for how many years?
1991.
Since 91. This is an update. Chief Leininger serves as the chair of the Hamilton County Fire Chiefs Association right now, and I think was instrumental in making some critical updates to this agreement, and this also has been reviewed by legal counsel. So don't know if either of you two have any comments that you want to add. The board, again, has seen this, and for the most part, it's the same structure, the same agreement, so nothing dramatically different, just cleaning up some language and specifying some of the terms.
So it's just making it a little more transparent.
That's correct, and making it current with the way that we do things. I mean, we've evolved considerably since 1991.
True.
And the mutual aid that we used to operate by, where we would request responding units, now we're meeting ahead of time and putting them in a computerized automatic dispatch. We make pre-arrangements for a mutual aid response. So that's primarily was the catalyst for updating the agreement, was just to clarify some of the terminology that we are now using in the fire service, and that's reflective in the new contract.
Okay, any other questions?
I'll make a motion that we authorize the fire chief to sign this contract on behalf of Springfield Township.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Just a couple of announcements to make, some upcoming opportunities for the public. This coming Sunday at 1:30, back at the Grove, back here on our property, will be the annual State of the Township address. As I said, that's at 1:30 at the Grove. Certainly all are welcome to that. And then on the 24th, which is the regular work session date, there will be two public hearings first one starting at 5:30. The first one will be to discuss the possibility of either creating a solid waste district or engaging in a agreement to have solid waste conducted. I've since learned that there is a way to do this without creating the actual district. Essentially, they do exactly the same thing, but you can't go out to bid. But this would be sort of having a proprietary vendor provide waste service to all township residents. So this meeting at 5:30 on the 24th, March the 24th, will be to get public input on that concept. And then also to the second portion of that public hearing will be to provide information, also take feedback on 2015 permanent appropriations. So some upcoming opportunities. Under personnel update, very limited activity, just did accept the resignation of Suzanne Castile. Suzanne's a part-time paramedic firefighter, and the effective date of her resignation will be March the 17th of 2015. And Kim, I'd ask you maybe to bring us up to date on what's going on with community events and programs.
Great, thank you. On March the 21st, we have our Mom Prom event that is sold out, but we have an open house on that same day where people can come in and look at the Grove if they're looking to potentially host a wedding or something there. That event goes from 1 till 5. On March 25th, the Senior Center is having an open house in conjunction with the Wyoming seniors. On April the 10th, we are doing a free production by Playhouse in the Park at 7 o'clock p.m. Called Bird Brain. And on April the 24th, we have a dinner theater program. It's a mystery dinner this year.
And then we have something regarding, what was it, Day at the Reds, Community Day at the Reds?
Yes, that's the 25th of April.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's one in May as well. We've got 2 dates this year.
Okay.
I think last year it poured down rain the whole time, didn't it, that night?
It did, it certainly did.
We got lucky though this year, we've got 2 weekends, so they're not in the evening, they're day games.
Oh, good.
So that's good.
It doesn't rain during the day?
Exactly. We're planning it for a non-rain Saturday.
Oh, okay.
That's why you picked 2.
That's right.
I know the board has copies of the departmental activity reports, and unless there's any questions on anything in the reports, that's all I have.
I have a question.
Okay.
And it appears that at our meeting last month, I may have spoken out of turn and said that we were probably finished with the snow, and it
Don't
appears.
say anything else about
Why would you
snow.
bring that up after what happened?
So
that
I'd
one
like,
goes.
John, can you tell me what we've done since the last meeting as far as staff and how many times we went out?
Only if you agree to not use that word.
I will not use
Through the
it.
duration of this meeting.
I will put tape on my mouth.
Yeah, the month of, well, since February 10th, it was kind of a rough month. We did several very significant events. We've used over 1,600 tons of salt in that amount of time, trying to get things back to normal and get the streets drivable. Yeah, it's been an interesting winter. We've taken a major hit in the salt dome, but we still got salt left. And we're preparing to purchase more salt for next year.
Great, great. Lots of feedback from the community, lots of thank yous, and also great job, job well done as far as getting the streets plowed.
I was hoping you would relate some of your experiences with the snowplow, since you went out with one of our drivers.
I had the pleasure of riding with our snowplow staff, and it was just amazing. There was so much that I really thought I knew and didn't know, and there is certainly, with the way our guys work, there is an art. There's actually an art to the manner in which you plow and move the snow, and being very cautious not to bank the snow up, into the road or into driveways, and it was just amazing, and especially on the cul-de-sacs. And I can't recall how many cul-de-sacs we have, but it seems
Lots.
like there are lots.
Lots.
And just to do a cul-de-sac, it takes a lengthy period of time, because you got to bank the snow and make sure you don't block driveways and everything. But I left thinking, what an art this is, and I was so impressed with our driver sitting back there. Thank you so much. He was just excellent, and we had residents coming out wanting to give us a little food, little nutritional snacks until we could finish. And I rode with him for quite a while, and then when he left me, they still continued to plow until 1, 2, and 3 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't just get in there and ride for an hour. I was there for quite a few hours. And
You've been there for quite a long time.
yes, and it was just really amazing, and I just can't thank you, Mike, for taking me out there.
My pleasure. And I'm glad you pointed out that Mike was driving, so the residents don't think that it was you out there behind the wheel.
That's right, I had to do that. It was not me, because I don't know what would have happened had it been me. I mean, I had an opportunity.
A few more calls, probably about mailboxes.
About mailboxes.
Guessing.
10 or 20.
And it also increased my awareness of the state of one of our trucks that was so old that there was a hill that we had to go up, and I didn't think we were going to get up the hill. I mean, that's how bad it was. And then we somewhat said, I know I can. And I'm like, we're not going to make it up the top of this hill. So we do need to look at some of our equipment. But it was, and then we did a comparing and contrasting to another piece of equipment so you could see the difference in the quality and the integrity of the equipment. So it was very much an educational opportunity for me. Thank you, Mike.
John, what's it, 12 hours to plow during a big event, one of the bigger events,
To do a
roughly?
complete cleanup, yeah, to do intersections and get everything all cleaned up, yeah, it's about 12 hours.
And the only reason I bring that up is I think especially if it's, you try to get out there during times where the snow's stopped, just because you're talking about 12 hours from start to finish. And I think sometimes if you're first on that street or you're last on that street, you're thinking they're not out. But obviously a route, that's one route. So for each of our 10, is it 11 drivers, I mean, there's, that's a 12-hour route that it takes because there's, 300 and some odd cul-de-sacs? I'm trying to remember and as you said, it's just a tedious, long process that these guys go through. And usually if they're out plowing, they've been out probably 4, 5, 6 hours salting first, which is what we try to get a layer, John, to get this down to a science where they get a layer of salt out first, come back and plow afterwards because of the time frame that takes. And I'm not putting guys, the county or the state down, but they're generally doing a highway where you're going straight.
Right.
You go back and forth, it's just it's a different process.
And it's a very systemic, organized method in which they do it, so that they hit every street in the township. So you may think they're not coming to your street, but they already have your streets targeted, but it takes time, to get there.
To John's team's credit, most of the complaints we do get are about county roads, because everybody
Yeah.
thinks we handle Winton and North, and we don't. We're not even allowed to, so that's where the complaints come from.
So thank you.
No question. Well, you will see at our public hearing on the 24th that our biggest permanent appropriation issue will be salt. And the cost of salt for next year.
Again.
We thought we might be able to get a year off where we had enough, but obviously this last month hit us pretty good. We were guessing, what'd you say, John? About
16.
Maybe 1,000 tons left.
Yes.
So, we're gonna need to buy probably close to 4,000 tons.
Any sense, John, what the price might be this year? Any forecasts?
No, not really. It's tough to say. The salt that we are going to purchase here that's left over from our previous contract is almost $80 a ton. With the amount of salt that's been used this year throughout the country, I don't see that price going down much.
Didn't the county,
It's probably going to go up a little bit.
didn't the county pay over $105 a ton for their salt?
Quite a few communities did.
I think Hamilton County did.
Yeah, I think.
They did, but a few others did as well because they waited too long.
They thought the price was going to come down.
To try to get a contract, and sometimes it doesn't work out when you do that.
Thank you. Thank you for that report.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next, on our agenda, we have resolutions. We have one resolution, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure that probably in the next 3 to 4 months, we'll have many more. So tonight, we have resolution number 18, 2015, declaring motor vehicles located on public or private property in Springfield Township, Hamilton County, Ohio, to be junk vehicles pursuant to RC 505.173, and ordering the removal of such vehicles pursuant to resolution number 80-2012 and RC 505.871. Need a motion?
So moved.
Seconded?
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next on our agenda, old business. Anyone have any old business? Mr.
I don't
Honolo?
have any old business.
No.
I have none, thank you. Any new business?
No new
Mr.
business.
No new business.
Okay. Now we come to the point where we have an opportunity for citizens' participation. If you have any concerns or if you want to share with us what a great job we've done in the past month. And we're always open to that. And I ask if you do step to the podium that you state your name and your address, and those in the audience, if you would abstain from speaking so that we may hear the individual who is speaking to us at the podium. Anyone like to speak to the Township Trustees tonight? Okay. Look like we have no one. Then, bearing no one, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So glad to see my friends and neighbors from West College Hill and Pleasant Run Farms.